But I didn't know. Can it it's sweeping on floor, but it doesn't like couch. Come on, like couch fit. If you're looking for a really soft couch, comfortable, whoever thought was for Mane Barcelona?
Yeah.
Any station or a television, Cape Town television, don't they have this other show called they're trying to hype things up. Istulo Sab is not this comfortable, bro. They've had a couch, I don't know for how many seasons. Like couch, I say Pelero, Elena. This is the one.
The fresh thing. It's the fresh thing.
This is the
I slide clean. If she got no special features, have to see her ID. I don't go around chasing shit, I literally just find dreams. Niggas they tripping, all I tell them is don't mind me.
Hey, it's your boy Coffee, man. I'm out here in Cape Town. Kukuleto Barcelona, Machucho Mengla, Okine Pole, South Africa. Kutua is too much, Louis. I'm gonna try and turn it down a little bit. And welcome to yet another special episode, man. Today I got my brother over here, Urich. Like I can talk the whole day introducing him, man. He's a wonderful broadcaster. He's been on radio. He's still on radio, right?
I'm still in radio.
Still in radio. He's also a grower on We grow emojis. Yeah. We grow emojis. And he's also like a surfer and a biker. That's correct. I'm so happy to have him today, man, because this episode is so special to me based on the fact that I was on the other seat, meaning that I was hosted last year on 1FM.
2019, actually.
2019?
2019,
yeah. Time flies, ne?
Yeah, because now in 2021.
Shit.
Yeah,
time flies. I was on the other seat as I was explaining, and now I'm hosting him on the black couch. Putu, good? I'm good. I'm fresh, man. It's a very hot day. I hope I shine on the camera.
Hey, Fitzy, I was trying to make things easy for the post-production. Yeah, when I shiny because I remember your brief when you said come through. It's like I fit a co makeup when I just bring your melanin.
Yeah.
So sometimes you shine.
Yeah.
Apart from the careers, always shining.
Yeah. Of course, we do have a stylist, but we're still looking to make sure that she has the whole package of makeup and all those things. We're gonna develop, guys. Watch the space. Like before we go in, like for people who don't know you out there, who wanna know Bangubani Lorich, like can you briefly tell us about your background?
First and foremost, thank you for inviting me. It's Kamlana, to actually get a invitation from yourself, having to recognize certain things that I do, but I didn't know. Can it it's sweeping on floor, but it doesn't like couch. Come on, like couch fit. If you're looking for a really soft couch, comfortable, whoever thought was for Mane Barcelona? Any station or a television, Cape Town television, don't they have this other show called they're trying to hype things up. Istulo Sab is not this comfortable, bro. They've had a couch, I don't know for how many seasons. Like couch, I say Pelero, Elena. This is the one.
The fresh thing. It's the fresh thing.
This is the one,
And actually, another guy who's also like part of. So we have a huge family team up at Barcelona. Family of creatives, from musicians, filmmakers, producers. We just have a family. So this guy is a producer and he also does couches. Like he fixes them and puts in new fabric and stuff. He was like, dude, you got me. I'm here. I'm going to make a quotation for you. So the business sticks within, and I'm sure within 2 months, you're going to see a better... No.
I love this, This is like, that kind of seat, where presidents kind of sit in, I'm sure this show, not so long enough, will be hosting some few politicians just to address maybe some matters in and around in the community was.
Away,
You know, but thank you once again for inviting me. But to keep it short, you know, I'm not some of your favorite guests that have come here who are musicians. Some of them, you know, they are making really awesome moves, like in terms of the community. Well, I do dabble in a bit of community, but I'm just gonna keep it short. It's just 5 letters, 1 syllable. It's just Ridge. I just do cool shit. That's all.
Away. I want us to start with broadcasting. Like, when did it all start? What was the inspiration? And what was your first ever radio show?
So the broadcasting bug bit me in 2014 when I started working for a retail company. So this retail company, what happened was they have an in-store radio station, or should I say an in-house radio station. So luckily for me, going to work, I would see this glass, or what we call it, like a fishbowl. So it's basically, it's glass house, it's nicely soundproofed, but then the guy always sitting inside kept on moving his shoulders, or you know, being very expressive with a mic in front of him. So I then decided, you know what, let me knock inside his door. And this happened, I think, on the 18th of May 2014 when I walked into his doors, by the name of Colin Schulz. But he's sadly passed away. He's late. And then I asked him, what is this that you do and how do you do it? You know, just to broaden the mind, regardless of the fact I've like some value mameli radio. I'm sure all of us know how radio is, you know, and I'm sure you also have your radio personality. But then when you enter a studio, there's all of these equipment, mixers, you know, these very rigid technologies, and you'll be like, Exam, now I just thought it might you know. And then from there I thought, you know what, let me take a backseat on this and just enter completely knowing nothing and ask by K, how do you do this? And I tell you, you know, it wasn't easy. You know?
Yeah.
Imagine you trying to teach someone how to play one of your guitars, you know. You'll be like, hey, you know. But then the guy, after being a nuisance, boy, that's a local you know, he gave his time, and then I gave my investment in trying to learn this, as bad as I was. And then we are here now.
Oh, yeah. Like your first gig, what was your first gig? Besides that, I'll take it as a training.
Yeah.
That one.
Yeah.
But your first gig.
You know, it's funny enough because I remember you were recording a song earlier this year, the birthday song.
Yeah.
So just to make it full circle, how I started radio, I used to read all the Xhosa names from the birthday list that we used to do. So basically, there would be a segment or a feature in the radio show whereby we would say happy birthday to some of the staff listening to the show. So one thing I noticed about the DJ at that time, he couldn't pronounce the Xhosa names. So I would step in just for like 5 seconds, like say, hi, Amanda. And then he would continue with the other names that he would be able to pronounce. And then I would jump in, okay, Noma Tamsanga, you know. And then that's that. I would say that was my first legitimate gig. Boy. And of course, you know, a lot of people will ask, but did he get paid? No, it wasn't. You know, it was just me taking that time, energy, and investing myself in trying to learn this new trade.
Yeah. So how many radio station in-store radio stations you have done so far?
So I've worked with 2 radio stations so far. And when I say radio stations, it's the community radio station in Tableview, 1FM on 94.0, and then the one that I currently work for now is the in-store radio station for a retail company. So basically that is a different style type of radio whereby we are more focused on the brand itself, and with the brand itself we everything is brand focused, so it's everything from in and around the business, but also try to hype up the customers before we open up to our loyal customers. And I say loyal, I speak on behalf of the company.
I get what you mean. I want us to go to 1FM because I feel like that's where like a lot of izinto zokuthetha are there. I remember I want to keep people on post, ne?
And this is 2019.
He invited me for an interview. I think at that time I just released no, it was only...
No, you haven't released it because that time you were still building up to the release.
Yeah.
So you had Better Days, but also you were still pushing your first EP.
No. Yeah, the first EP.
First
Yeah,
EP.
yeah. Believe in Your Soul.
Yes,
I was
yes.
pushing that. So he invited me, and I didn't know where is the studio exactly in Table View. So I took a taxi to town and then a My City bus to Table View. And when I got off, I actually saw that on the other side of the road is where exactly I worked for like 2 weeks. My first ever 9 to 5 job, and the last ever 9 to 5 job that I've worked it.
Yeah.
I won't name the company, but it was across the road on where the studio is located, and to me it was like it was a huge ass relief, because I told my colleagues before I stopped working that I want to do music. This is what I want to do. This is art and everything. And I remember when we went outside of the studio after shooting, we went to get some lunch.
And vegetables, to be exact.
Yeah,
we struggled to find a vegetable place.
In
the north.
It's crazy. It's crazy. So you told me that, like, for you being in that radio station, it takes a lot of work, because the audience there, it's like your northern suburbs, your I would say, I don't want to classify people, but like poor.
Basically, they have a very predominant white listenership, which when I came in, I didn't want to count other radio stations that I approached, because I did try to actually be in an audience that will basically understand the type of person that I am and the type of content that I'm creating. But also, I think when I joined that team in that community radio station, I believe I was there to also kind of bridge two different type of listeners. So it was a station that is fairly young, very exciting, and I know because my show is really early, and I know it was a difficult thing, because being in the far north of Cape Town, it's actually in the Bloberg region. It's not a very central area where everyone can literally come that direction. And I would literally, till today, I don't know if I've thanked you enough, but you are my very first guest. You are very...
I didn't know that. This guy...
No, seriously.
Did you tell me that, though?
No, I kind of played it cool, because he has zip reset. Just relax and chill. So you are my very first guest, and I really appreciated the commitment that you put through, because one thing about the creative space, I know when we were actually coming to these studios, the Kasi Mayhem studios, we found out that there were a few guests that were cancelling, that couldn't come through eventually on your show. So I'm sure you can also see from a broadcaster's perspective, when you try to put together something magical, it's a bit of a gamble, because certain individuals can show up and some people cannot show up, and then you must think on your feet and what need to come up with thereafter. And that's content.
Hence we decided to have two guests at the same day, because I kind of like anticipated something like this, and luckily, like we had you also on the show. Thank you for coming, man. I really appreciate it.
I owe it to you. Even though I don't do much, because everyone that knows me, because I'm sure you watching there and you'll be like, hey, got that? So it's I rappy, I tuli. Like, what are you basically in this particular industry? Because I like to play or do what I do behind the camera or behind the mic. I don't. There's nothing wrong with like me being in front of camera, but a lot is required to be in front of camera. And because I've fallen in love with radio, and radio has always required one to have the ability to play around with the theater of mind. create an imagination, draw a story using your words. That's what I fell in love with. With TV, like literally, I had to get my whole gear on. If you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So if you know this brand, I'm just representing.
I know we can name it, man. We support local. T Squared. Shout out to T Squared, man.
Shout out to you guys.
I like your love for organic food, man. Like always a status circle. It's like healthy food all the time, and we grow emojis page. I saw the tag and I was like, he's promoting my music. Like no one has ever promoted Leia EP because it's limited. It's not really out on all digital platforms, but it's only hard copies. And you made sure that you get you even drove to Googs, man, to get that copy. Tell me about We Grow Emojis.
We Grow Emojis is basically a passion project that I have because we are all multifaceted people. So Wongumdu has a interest that they do on their spare time, you know. So basically dealing in agriculture, small scale farming, gardening. To be exact, is something that I am deeply passionate about, and also keeping a nice healthy diet, but high plant-based diet. I need to slim. I'm just saying, have a high plant-based diet. A diet that will consist of most of the natural substance that we will grow from the ground. So We Grow Emojis is something that I started because I think one thing we have gone through as a nation or as a world in the past year has shown us that you need to be slightly more creative or grab a few hobbies, you know, and this was one of them. Ekhaya sikhule you know, sicanceshela into ezithile, you know, but I went as far as just getting some professional training, and then from there I said, you know what, let me take this skill that I have and not keep it to myself. Let's try and make gardening cool again, you know. That's why I'm like, you know, nina abajolayo nayazi emane nithumelela eza emoji eza basic those peaches and those eggplants, you know. So that's why I said, you know, we grow those emojis. We grow them. So that is where I was like, okay, let me just back to basics, make gardening cool again, but also create a space, because that's one thing about gardens, you know. It can also be a place of meditation if you look at it, you know, because it's very quiet, tranquil, you know. You basically playing a slight bit of God, you know, because you plant a seed and then you watch it grow, you know. So it's a bit of a godly act, you know. So
so do you have your own backyard garden?
Yes, backyard garden I do have. I run it with a awesome organization called the Tembisa Ratanga. You'll find it go TR, pardon me, Kailicha. That is where one of our gardens is, and we normally also kind of assist clients in starting their own gardens, and then provide information on how they can continue the garden so that that particular garden within their backyard can sustain them. But the nice thing about working alongside Okama Menziwa,
I was about to say that, man. Shout out to Kama, yo, brother. That guy is supportive,
very,
man.
Very supportive.
He's been sharing a lot of content. Yes. Shout out to you, Kama, my brother.
So I'm working alongside him, and the nice thing about his space is that he works a lot with kids. So with the kids that are there at his space, I would normally invite them, you know, kind of teach them some of the things that we are growing in the garden, from the likes of the spinach that we were growing now recently. We've harvested a few times, and then we just did a bit of a crop rotation. So we've just planted some cabbages, what else? Beetroot, a bit of herbs there, mint. Like I can have anything that could literally feed you and make a good cocktail for you, if you know what I mean.
There's one thing that, like, when someone myself, Prof Kala, but I'm sure it happens for even other people.
Yeah.
When I see appearance yako and ikubeki kude kuskuta. Seriously, whenever, whatever you're wearing, I'm always like, the part yes scooter and the big scooter too.
Yes.
Tell
yes,
me like
yes.
scooter suka. I know as kids we grew up like fantasizing about having a scooter.
Yeah. Well, the whole journey of the motorcycle lifestyle that I live, because Musa, also two wheels to world is something that I push very heavily. It's basically to give you a perspective of a biker's lifestyle from a young, hungry, talented young male who happens to stay in the Cape Flats side of town, and to give you that perspective. But basically, the passion of biking started quite simple. The very same company that I work for, that introduced me to radio, is the very same company namdan sokola kansuka apha endlini ndimele ndileqe span nasoloko ndivuka ekuseni ndileqe ibhasi. Yeah, I'm running for the bus, and then something hit me and be like, exam man, like why am I working so hard to try get to work whereby I can maybe get something that could buy me time? So basically eliminate the whole process of waking up 5 ekuseni just to arrive 5 to 8 span. So like I could have been using it to doing something else. So then I try to put together an idea by say, hey man, what else can I use? What other alternatives are there? And I thought, okay, why not a bike? And then from there I bought myself a bike. And then as soon as you buy yourself a bike, and let me tell you something, as soon as you get yourself a motorcycle and you start riding it, you automatically enter yourself in this thing called a biker's brotherhood. So the biker's brotherhood is basically every individual that is on the road, that is on two wheels, has this respect for you. And then I started delving deeper into, okay, what else lies beyond this brotherhood? So there were events, there were rallies, there were campaigns, and then that is where I started actually be like, okay, it started as me trying to resolve a problem that I have about waking up and then going to work and still not making it on time most of the time, And then I was like, man, Fumani scooter. But then got Fumani scooter, I was like, flip. It opened a door to something else. And then from there, I decided, okay, in me trying to acquire knowledge on how to be in this environment, it was a bit of a difficult one because all of the sites and all of the media that you will try and find, okay, where do you get a helmet? Where do you get gloves? Where are the best passes that you would ride your motorcycle? Where is the best place to service your bike? That information is not easily and freely available, especially like I said in the beginning, for someone coming from the Cape Flats, the mode of transport is quite limited. So then I was like, you know what, how about I create a platform whereby I'm able to share the experience about my journey, and also how you, if you're entering into this specific culture or a fraternity or brotherhood, what you would need, where you would go to get certain things that you would require to be a part of this. At least put your foot in the door. And then that is where I started actually riding consistently. Like you would find me at an event like where we first met. I don't know, can you remember where we first met?
I can't remember, bro, but I remember seeing you a lot with ghetto sessions.
Ikaya Garden used to have another fruit and stall events. A lot of these events that are curated, especially at Kailicha, I would purposefully arrive in a scooter, not by their speed. No. It wasn't it was basically changing the narrative of like, there is this mode of transport and you can be a part of it. That is where I am even open to individuals. I remember training even a friend of mine. He's later, unfortunately. But when he saw me buy a motorcycle, then the idea became surreal for him. He was like, hey, Fetu, can't phone this. Which is, I took that step and I was like, I'm going to teach you, And then that is what I wanted to do with that experience. Same thing with the gardening, whereby you do it in the efforts of trying to make it cool. And then once it's cool, then people are going to jump for it. So then, yes, I had my troubles in going into the biking industry. But then I wanted to make it cool so that there is more of us this side of town, you know, for the minority, because for the majority, pardon me, because the minority, yes, they're killing it in the biking industry, you know, so might as well also change the narrative for the majority.
Yeah. So tell me, like, you one day drove into the beach, and then you surfed. Because I saw a picture of you surfing. I'm like, this dude, maybe one day you decide, well, I'm driving my scooter to the beach and do some surfing. Where did surfing come?
Surfing. Do you want the truth or the lie?
Yo, this guy does a lot of things, bruh. Yo.
And you know what? I don't do a lot of stuff, honestly. It's basically having a specific interest in something, but don't leave it at just you know. One thing I always I said to myself, don't be that person 10 years from now looking back and said, yes, if only I did it, you know. So
it's actually exactly what I'm doing, because when I looked into this whole thing of presenting, I was like, I love that. I'd like to do that. But there's one thing that I hate: casting. I would never do casting. I never liked casting. So when it came this way, I was like, oh God listened to my prayers and my desires, and it just came this way.
But one thing I also want to I don't want to say congratulations, but give you your flowers right now, because what you're doing now is something we spoke about not so long ago. Because what you guys don't know, he had a radio show that he recorded for SoundCloud with Yona Lisa. And it was not once, because it's still available. So if you do a research, you'll find him putting together a show and then scripting it. And then when I listened to it, I literally thought it was a show in the Eastern Cape. Because I don't know, I think it was an East London show, but it was a whole skit made up. But I remember when I was asking you in the interview, when you came to my show, and you said you made this preparing yourself for what's going to come next. Because that time you guys were still trying this music thing. You know, you guys were still out there basking, you know. You haven't even put together your own songs and kind of released a full-blown project, you know. So it was that, I don't want to say luck, but it's preparing yourself for what's going to come next. So when it came, Kasi Mayhem TV came, and then when are you ready? Because you've done this before. You know what I mean?
The editing,
the everything.
Because I was just a guest on that show. I did the most in editing. But
I'm sure also what you don't know, you also taught me how to sing that day. Remember was how we collaborated on the show, you know, live. But people, Betty, at that show a lot of stuff happened, but people won't realize. I mean, is
the link still available?
The link is still available, but I'm no longer part of the station. But the links and everything, I'm sure if you can do your research, you can find it. And,
if I find the link, guys, I'll put it on the description.
That's if.
If I find it.
If you beg him hard enough, maybe.
I'll wait. I want to ask you something. I think it's very off the topic, but it happened, and I might as well talk about it. What's your take on the last night's glitch?
Last night's
glitch.
Social
media glitch.
Okay, so last night's glitch, for those who are watching now, you know, hopefully you're not watching this a year from now. So yesterday,
editors.
Editors. So yesterday was the 3rd of October. Was it the 3rd? It was the 3rd of October. It was the 4th of October last night. And then what happened throughout the world, you know, all of your platforms where all of you guys post your fake lives. I'm joking. You know. But it was Facebook, it was Instagram, and it was WhatsApp. So basically all the platforms that are run by the mafia, Facebook. I'm not throwing shade, but it came to a halt. I thought nothing of it. I only realized later. I tried to find out what happened. You know, I was speaking to one of your crew members, and he did give me an insight. But then again, I go back to the fact that why are we so reliant on all of these platforms that are out there? You know, to communicate. You know, we've had the likes of Mixit. You know, not so long ago. You know, whereby it was a technology that was created by one of the graduates from, I think, UCT or Stellenbosch, and basically that platform was available, but some cell phone company bought the company, and then by Mosh, you know what I mean. But also, why don't you start your own platform, just like Kasi Mayhem did, you know, whereby you would tell a story, if you get what I'm saying. So all of these platforms went down, and then what happened? You get what I'm saying, you know. So it kind of gives you that insight that, you know, if these players literally shut down at some point, meaning whatever you've built is gone. So might as well consider starting your own thing. Be it your website, be it your own curated spaces whereby you can create and put things at your own apparel, and be accountable for it. You know, don't leave it to the next person. I'm not being political, but I'm just saying, you know, it happened. 19 abantu abaninzi bebhizi bepost say amafoto amamkile fethu bejonga friends zami ziku-0, and I'm like, yeah man, you know, I think there's more
trust
to that.
Too much, eh?
Yeah, I trust too much on that.
I don't want to sound cocky right now, but like, the reason why you are here today is for me to give flowers, Zako, based on the way you treated me as a person, like from the music side of me and then my personal life. Like, you've always been there for me. You're almost like a brother, a big brother to me. I want to appreciate you in this moment and say thank you, brah, like for being who you are, and like, you're supportive, Brian. Like, you're really, really supportive.
It's nothing much, honestly. Like, it's nothing much. I think also we need to be at a position whereby we consume from our own ecosystem. You know, like, we need to first build it, of course. You know, have our own clothing brands, have our own music, have our own food, and then from there actually support one another so we can build our own empires. You know, because most of the things that are out there we have no control of. Speaking about Facebook, it was gone, and then what happened, you know. So I've always dreamt of a place whereby, pardon me, I've always dreamt of a place whereby I'm able to wake up in my hood and be able to buy from a local brand, eat from a local restaurant, have an experience from a local tour guide, if maybe. You know, I know even when you asked me about the surfing experience, I went there because I was taught by a young black person, actually. You see, so there's more of me out there, you know. But it's just that now building those networks and be able to do what we do. Even when I approached you the last time, when I said I wanted to start We Grow Emojis, and I said there's this song that keeps lingering in my ear, which is very captivating. I would really like to use that as my opening jingle. And you said, hey, go ahead. No way. You know, and that was when I think in the beginning of the year. But only now this content is actually coming out, and you know, that is how we need to start looking at. I don't want to say support, like just take from one another and for the lack of a better term, like literally support each other, but also consuming the media if need be, you know, because Kasi Mayhem came at the right time. You know, there used to be another Kasi TV show. Now they're selling clothes. Not throwing shade, I love you, man.
Now we love you. We know you. You know us.
We know love. You know, we know. Urban love. But you came right at the right time, and now you are curating particular stories from this side of town. You know, because most of us we Khayelitsha, you know. Manje size Barcelona. Imagine.
Imagine. No one thought of it.
No one thought of that. Like, I mean, Wi-Fi is so fast here, bro. this thing,
Cloud in a poll.
this episode, I'm sure, how many views? 10,000 views now. Yeah.
Yeah.
It hasn't even been uploaded. 10,000 views.
You
bro.
see what I mean?
You know what I mean? So
the futuristic.
this is what I mean, like literally. From you know, because I remember the conversation we had when I bought your album. We were like, "You want to start this thing?" And I was like, "Okay, no sharp." It sounds similar, but I think also it has built so much legs now. You know, it's a force to be reckoned with. You know, so it can compete with any other thing. Like literally, I look at certain things. You know, you have a full blown crew here. Literally. Never mind the conversation we having with you. Kukabando behind these cameras. You know, from the production, the transitions, the picture quality, the locations, like everything is so crisp. You know, and literally you're capturing also all these other individuals. They are all also in the beginning phases, but you're also kind of giving them that bit of head like start, but start and
that's what a lot of people have been saying, and now we've been noticing as a Customer Mayhem TV is that when we first came in, people didn't understand what we're trying to do, especially in events. Like people were like, "You wanna interview me for what?" I'm like, "This is the lifestyle we're trying to bring." Yeah, I understand that it's something new to you guys because you normally hear it from Joburg and stuff, but okay, I'll figure out there's this, there's that from a local based level. Even ungekafiki ku national level, understand? Ungekaveli to your national TV platforms, there's like a lot of media going on, there's creative content ends a guy. So we felt like, yeah man, let's do this. And we events go, people are starting to recognize what we're trying to do.
True.
They never understood it at first, but now they really understand what we're trying to achieve, and it's been a great reception coming from the Cape Townians and the Mayhemers. I'm so happy, guys, and thank you for subscribing, guys. My camera crew, I was still on time, I was still good with time.
Yeah, we're still good. Come on, we're still good.
35 minutes.
We're on 35 now. I think we should.
We want to wrap it up?
Yeah, we're wrapping it up.
He's
a radio producer. He can go on all night, man.
Yeah,
man. I appreciate it, man. Thank you so much for coming through. For me, this is going to be an inspiration going ahead because I always watch these shows like several times when I'm editing. And I get to listen into details. Sometimes I'm deceive and when I'm talking. When you're creative, those things happen. Sometimes you perform and then a stage I didn't know like what really happened, but I went all in. Yeah, understand. And when you watch yourself, you're like, I did that. So when I'm watching this, I feel like it's gonna be an inspiration going ahead, man. Because I'm looking up to your work and I appreciate what you're doing. I really appreciate it. Like, is there anything you want to say to the people, like, in closing?
There's nothing in particular.
Before you do that, I want you to rate me, like, my broadcasting, like, my presenting.
You're presenting?
Yeah.
Well,
be fair.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, one of your crew members did say, "Hey, I got the sticky no coffee, man. We need a new face." So I was like, I kind of thought about it. I got that. No, bro, but nevertheless, honestly, like in terms of diversifying the portfolio, I think you also found a home in what you're doing now, because it's honestly, I've been not a listener, but I've been a viewer since day one. From the likes of you interviewing Ngosi Tamaku, Gigi Martin, Music Hood, who else?
Abo Speeder.
Abo Speeder, man. My first, yes, because Abo Speeder, for a lyricist, he doesn't talk much. Or maybe you cut the episode. I don't know what happened there.
That one was still starting, so the episodes were still 10 minutes.
Oh, so 10 minutes.
Yeah, yo.
That's not recording a phone. No. I get the struggles, because we had to, in this whole thing of starting something like this, it's not easy. But when you're consistent, you create emphasis. And like you said, people are noticing what you're doing. Yeah, well, regardless of how you did it and with what you did it with, but it's the consistency that you have maintained, and that is the last words that I have for you.
Oh yeah, man. Shout out to Reach, man. Thank you to everyone who reached this moment in time. It means you are true mayhammer and you are very patient with us. Thank you so much, man. It's your boy Coffee. I'm out in Cape Town. Barcelona, in a bowl. South Africa, man. Guys, abana brands out there, please, man, talk to us, guys. We need local brands to advertise. I don't like that. No biggie go Adidas, otherwise we out, man.